We are taking a look back at some of the January numbers coming in from Westover. It was a cold January. We were actually about 4 degrees below normal. And believe it or not, even though that's a fairly significant spread, like if we had a summer month that was 4 degrees below normal, that would certainly be in the top 10 list. But for January, it doesn't even come close. Now, we did make close to the top 10. We were the 11th driest January on record. We had a deficit of over 1.5 inches, definitely a light precipitation month in general, which also led to a light snow month. I mean, we only picked up about 5.5 inches. That is 8 inches below the average. And tacking that on to what was also a fairly dry December in terms of snowfall, we've barely seen over 13 inches in the greater Springfield and Chicopee areas to date, and our normal to date is at least 30. So we are well shy of where we should be. Now, we do have another chance of picking up more snow accumulation this week, even this weekend. Now, for Thursday, our next storm system starts after 8 a.m. So when you wake up, if you're out early Thursday morning, you know, the kids hit the bus stop early in the morning, it might not even be snowing yet, but once it starts, it will immediately stick and road conditions will deteriorate as the morning goes on. We'll have snow for the most part, changing over to maybe some sleet and freezing rain as the storm starts to taper off, which will be roughly 2 to 4 in the afternoon. By the evening time, there might still be some freezing drizzle, but for the most part, the storm system will be done, but roads could still be icy as temperatures linger close to freezing. Almost all of southern New England is under a winter weather advisory for Thursday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for everyone here in Western Mass. We're expecting mostly snow with maybe a glaze of ice, and that's all it takes to cause travel issues. That storm system is actually out across the Pacific Northwest coming our way soon, but for the near term, things will be quiet later on tonight, just much colder. Breezes get lighter, skies remain mostly clear or partly cloudy through sunrise tomorrow. We'll have a bit of a breeze Wednesday, but it eases up actually as we head toward Wednesday evening. A cold day in general, sunny, but highs will be stuck in the 20s. Then cloud cover increases tomorrow night. Again, wintry weather starting off between roughly 8 and 10 a.m. But once it starts, it'll come down quick and moderate to even heavy. So it'll accumulate fast. By 2 p.m., we're going to have about 2 to 4 inches on the ground, depending on how fast the sleet comes in. It's always tricky to time out. Even though this model shows snow throughout the morning, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the way it's going to play out. If warm air can what we call override the cold air at the ground, that will change us over to more of that icy mixture, and sleet will keep those snow totals lower. So I would say 2 to 4 inches of snow and sleet are expected for most of Western Mass. Less farther to the south, you can see more rain down toward the I-95 corridor. All of it wraps up by Thursday afternoon. Thursday night, we dry out, and Friday, it'll be another blustery day with temperatures actually pretty close to normal. So again, it's not a big or major storm system, but it is going to be pretty impactful because it hits right in the middle of the day. Then we have our next one coming in this weekend, but it doesn't start until near midnight Saturday. It'll impact us mostly during the overnight and then Sunday morning, but it looks like another round, a quick accumulation of snow changing over to an icy mix and possibly even ending as rain for Sunday afternoon. However, the chance for 3 or more inches of snow is pretty high, 70 to 90%. So 3 inches of snow or more is expected Saturday night to Sunday morning. Then it's colder for next week with some wet and wintry weather mid to late week. Chris and Abby.